Hello.
Thank you so much for clicking on this vlog. In this vlog, I will show you guys my day trip to Siena San Gimignano and Pisa, and also my last day in Florence as well, and until the end to see Florence from the top of the cathedrals of Santa Maria Stone, and also to know where I went next. So now is a recap of my previous Florence vlog if you haven't got the chance to watch it. Okay, let's go. Hey, it's time again, and here's Italy and I. I went on a tour with walkabout from 8:30 a.m.-ish and arrived back in Florence at around 8 p.m. Takes around 1 to 2 hours to go between the towns and city, and the bus didn't stop, but there were washrooms inside the bus, thankfully. Usually I don't like going on tours because I like exploring on my own and go where I want when I want. But to be able to go to 3 towns without having to struggle finding cheap, quick transportation, having enough time to explore in all the 3 in just one day, and have tour guides and even a wine tasting and lunch in the beautiful Tuscany countryside. A tour it is. This tour cost me 85 euros, and based on what I got out of this tour, it is totally worth it. When we arrived in Siena, it was raining, and again, I didn't bring my umbrella. We were walking mostly outside, so yep, I got all wet. So I did not enjoy Siena that much and do not have many footages of Siena because of the rain, but that doesn't mean Siena is not worth a visit. Many people actually love Siena for its richness in history, its medieval cityscape, and Palio, the famous historical horse race. The view on the way from Siena to San Gimignano is so beautiful. There are lots of nature surrounding this area, and there are a lot of medieval style architecture, which made me feel like I went back to the past. First, we went on a tour around the farm to see where the wine bottles that we had for lunch came from. Everything about the lunchtime was perfect. Delicious food, delicious wine, with perfect proportion for each person, and a romantic, dreamlike view. This dessert was indescribably taste bud pleasing. I'm not sure if that's a word, but whatever. I'm not even exaggerating. Then we went to the actual town of San Gimignano. Walking around this town truly feels like I'm traveling back in time. I wish there were less people, but this place is so charming, and it's undoubtedly one of my favorite destinations in Italy, and I highly recommend you to come if you have a chance to go to Tuscany region of Italy. I believe this is the wishing well, and I saw so many different currencies here. My next stop is the gelato store that won twice the Gelato World Championship. And then I stopped at a gallery that caught my eye because it was so modern and so out of place because this is the center of an ancient medieval town, and this gallery was so modern, so I still wonder why it's there. Next stop, and probably the most popular one, Pisa. When I was there, my heart was pounding so fast because I've been waiting for a day that I can finally see this one and only Leaning Tower of Pisa for so long, and the tower was as I expected, but I feel like the surrounding is way over my expectation, since usually people come here just to take a picture with the tower, and I didn't know there are other amazing things worth to see besides from the Leaning Tower. When I arrived in Florence, I went with the new friends that I made from the day trip to one of the most famous restaurants in Florence to try the Florentine T-bone steak. It is very delicious, but it's super expensive, so it is better if you can share it with someone else if you just want to know how it tastes like. On the last full day in Florence, I went to most of the Duomo complex, such as the bell tower, the dome, the baptistry, and the museum that are included in my 20 euros Duomo ticket. Look how amazing this view is. Then the moment I've been mentally prepared for, climbing the dome. There's no elevator, so you have to climb up 463 steps to reach the top of the dome. The pathway is very narrow, and it's a bit dark and creepy, to be honest, so if you have claustrophobia, please be consulted before climbing the dome. On the way to a dome, there's a part where you walk super close to the ceiling, and above your head is this amazing fresco masterpiece. And in addition, there's light coming through the big hole in the ceiling that makes the experience feels holy. Even for me, myself, I am not religious nor spiritual. This wonderful view from the top of the dome made the hundreds of steps of climbing worth it. Then I climbed down the stairs, and at that time there was no one around me, so I felt so scared because it was pretty creepy, and especially the parts where there were no light at all. Then after that, I went for a very nice little lunch, and of course pasta again. Then I walked to the Basilica of Santa Croce to meet with my hostel roommate Zilia, who I mentioned in my previous Florence vlog. By the way, this is where important figures such as Michelangelo and Galileo were buried. the day, we just wandered around Florence, got gelato, and went to some small boutiques, music shops, and finally had a wonderful dinner together. If you want to see more of my content, subscribe and like.